already on to episode 6 of The Boys, and we got a lot going on in this episode. We actually have what feels like more filler, possibly, a lot of deviating actions happening, and we're still hunting for this freaking version 1 of the uh, Compound V. So V1 of the Compound V. And will we get it in this episode? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z, realistically speaking. I will say, randomly out of all the episodes, we do get the return of the legend, and he is playing a big part in this episode because he gets us back to Bombsight, who apparently has the V1 of Compound V. And all I can really say is it feels kind of like a Vought Rising, prequel or sequel episode, and we're supposed to be excited for this like meeting with Bombsight and Soldier Boy, and it doesn't land the right way still. Even right now, knowing that Vought Rising is going to happen, it just doesn't hit, and I don't know why they did this. So Homelander and Sage are working on a V1 serum, and a lot of people are saying that Sage isn't purposely making the V1 serum, even though she could if she wanted to, which could work in her grand scheme of things that haven't really been working out. We're just going to ignore in the last episode, I think she revealed her grand plan, but it just really wasn't a good grand plan. It was basically like let Homelander commit mass genocide and die, and then she gets to hide away in a bunker and read books all day. So instead, she's working on a V1 serum currently, but throughout, this is like a little fan theory I like to believe, is that she wasn't making it on purpose, mostly just so that Homelander couldn't get his little grubby little fingers on it. And I mean, if he did, that would kind of be pretty bad when we're thinking about it here. So like I said, we get the legend meeting up with the boys, and he explains to him how we can get some V1 Compound V up in this shit, and hopefully get it before Homelander gets it, because I think this is the penultimate episode that this is gonna realistically be happening. And I don't know the actor's name for the legend, but I will say he is good at playing whatever this legend character is, who clearly has connections to old Vought, and relatively, it's just he's pretty good. I won't lie. He's not a bad character. Meanwhile, Frenchie does finally have a completed version, a new version of the virus that they were creating in the previous episodes after the first one didn't work and it didn't successfully kill Soldier Boy. So he hands that to Huey because he trusts Huey more than, anyone else really. And for good reason. Huey's been playing this good guy character type, but he also just hasn't felt like the main character of the series in like 3 seasons, and almost pretty much halfway since season 3, he hasn't been the main character of the show, and it's kind of funny to remember that he is the main character actually. So in order to actually get the V1 Compound V, the Legend and Kimiko head to a Vought's old person home to find one of Bombsight's ex-girlfriends, his most recent one that he cared about enough that he's saving the Compound V1 for, because he wants her to live forever, even though she's old now, and Bombsight's still really young because, he has V1 Compound V, but only she knows where he is. But she could care absolutely less about either two of them, and she just basically tells him to fuck off, which leads them to having to, basically later in the episode, kidnap her, which, if you can't just strike up a conversation with someone, you just kidnap them so that their lover comes and saves them. They pretty much do that immediately afterwards. Like, Butcher's like, okay, fine, we're just gonna fucking nab the fucking old hag and keep moving. And, that's not what Butcher sounds like at all, but fucking bloody hell diabolical. I'm gonna stop now. Just don't even pay attention to any of this. They go into the old person home, and the dude on the left's superpower is having like really long nuts or something. Dick and balls jokes by Eric Kripke. It's good stuff for the 6th episode in an 8-episode final season. Not gonna lie, I understand why people get a little bit annoyed here, and it's really just a big waste of time. It feels like we're going in circles for just this MacGuffin device at the end of this really what was a really good show that was just playing just all these excellent ideas out, putting them out forth, in front of us, and instead we're just kind of doing movie MacGuffin devices for the final season. I understand why people kind of get invested in final seasons now, and I hope I don't choose other shows that have bad final seasons, but I mean, this one's just, I wouldn't say it's bad. I want to make a video about it talking in totality, but I do think it's been disappointing so far, especially by episode 6, you know. Talk about bad too. We don't even really get any talk about this. Sage just kind of infiltrates the boys' current setup or meeting place, which is like an elementary school or whatever, like an abandoned school, and she just switched sides just like that because in the previous episode she tried to help the boys with getting Soldier Boy to have the compound V1, right? Or no, she doesn't. That didn't happen. I got Alzheimer's. Don't even pay attention to that. She is helping Homelander still. But she just flips sides. That's how bad episode 6 is. She randomly just flips sides and she decides that she's going to help out the boys. And that's how confused I am that I just got Alzheimer's about this, right? Because obviously she's trying to help Homelander get the V1 and she gives it to Soldier Boy through the scope of bomb sight or whatever. But that doesn't even happen yet. She literally flips sides before that happens. Also, in this episode, Homelander requires Deep to lay down like this oil pipeline, and then Black Noir goes and destroys it on purpose because, you know, the Deep killed Black Noir's film director, and he was like his biggest shot at going Hollywood compared to anything that he could do with the Seven, you know, his true passions. So what does Black Noir do? He goes and destroys the oil pipeline and kills 1.4 billion fish, basically making the Deep ostracized from the entire fish community, and he can't even step foot in the ocean now, otherwise he is gonna fucking die. In the words of a shark that's played by Samuel L. Jackson. It was a pretty good scene. But yeah, so what does the Deep do? He just freaking straight up chokes out Black Noir and stabs him in the neck with a knife, and boom, Black Noir number 2 is dead just like that. The Deep was able to kill him. And it's a bittersweet ending in an episode filled with just a lot of things going on. We finally also get the reveal bomb sight because, you know, the boys kidnapped his girlfriend and he does come with the V1 and he is willing to negotiate with the boys. And we just have this episode that just feels like it's getting really rushed. We don't even really know who Bombsight is other than some clips from season 3. And I don't even think that's the same actor. It doesn't really matter, but this is the actor they're going to use for Vought Rising in season, or in Vought Rising, you know, for Bombsight. This is the character. So Butcher's, you know, negotiating while pointing a gun straight at his girlfriend's head. And he's just demanding the V1. He wants it, but she's not going to take it because she doesn't want it herself. And it's this little like romance story, Romeo Juliet. He wants her to live forever, but she would rather never live forever. Like, it's the worst thing in the world. And Kimiko kind of thinks about it. Frenchie thinks about it. And everyone's more okay with Butcher kind of releasing this virus because they don't want to live forever. And it's just a weird little like sappy plot point within the story that they're telling right now. And we also get this crazy scene with the Legend and Homelander, where the Legend actually sympathizes a little bit with Homelander and even gets him to like calm down and realize that, you know, some people can take in his perspective in the way that the Legend can only do it, really. But it is pretty funny. We get more funny Anthony Starr face emotes from Homelander, and he actually even lets the Legend live, which is pretty insane to me. So, I mean, it only really adds to this character and his name being the Legend that he gets to live. And he continues forth in this land of the free will. And he outlived encounter with Homelander, who thinks he's Jesus right now. So, you know, it's really is actually like a really good scene, though. Then interjecting back into it, literally like chronologically moving forward here, we get Soldier Boy interrupting the fight between, well, what was turning into a fight between Bombsight and the boys, and Soldier Boy interrupts it, and the Bombsight immediately is like, oh shit, he's fucking here, because he was the original leader of the Seven with Bombsight and the original Black Noir, all of them put together. It's some pretty insane shit. It's not a very good fight, and this is what they try to hype up and make it feel like it's something huge, but it's really not. So Bombsight tries to get away in the middle of the fight, and he strikes a deal with Soldier Boy and tells him to hit him with his like red blast, which now isn't killing people, it's just only taking away their powers, which in the beginning of season 3 it was like killing people. It didn't kill Queen Maeve, but it fucked her up a lot. In this, he literally hands over the V. And then Soldier Boy goes for his red blast and he hits Bombsight with it. And Bombsight literally like gets up, realizes he doesn't have powers anymore because before he could fly, which was, I mean, that's pretty freaking sick. But Bombsight fucks off, runs off literally. Which, I mean, it's just weird to have that blast in like all of season 3 be so deadly. And then in season 5, it comes back and all it does is like remove the superpower of the soup it's being pointed at. Unless like it's just because Bombsight was really powerful. But I don't know about power scaling in this show, and I don't like doing power scaling in any shows really because it just gets really annoying. Unless it's a show about power scaling like Dragon Ball or something, or like you know I forgot the other anime. It would be very obvious if I knew it, Zero Leveling or whatever. But then we get like this rushed ending to episode 6 where Soldier Boy has a conversation with Homelander, and he just decides to give Homelander the V1, which obviously was the end goal of all of this, and it probably should have happened way earlier in the beginning of the season to give this any sort of credence, because all we do is we give Homelander the V1, his eyes go crazy, and he like shoots up huge beams into the air. And like then we get like a shot of the boys looking all scared, and like freaking Sage can't believe it. She didn't calculate, just being really stupid, I guess. She only calculated that Soldier Boy would not do it because she set up like this scene where Clara was all amputee and stuff, but it didn't really matter. None of it matters because Soldier Boy gives him the V1. We get this ending scene, you know, and we just get to see like fucking, you know, Butcher just, he's like, run. Like, we gotta run. We gotta get out of here. And that's the end of episode 6. That's the whole end of it. That's everything. And if I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really know how I feel about this episode. It's not the worst episode in The Boys, but it is for season 5, in my opinion. I think the second to last episode might be the worst one, even if the last one's getting like review bombed to hell. But this one is definitely not one of the highest rated ones, in my opinion. They definitely needed like 12 episodes this season or something to make this work better, but I just feel like the pacing on this episode sucks. The shoehorning and Vought Rising stuff sucks, and it doesn't make any of it feel epic or really suspenseful at all compared to what we just had going in the first season, which is implications. Just the implication.